shared a video from an event that I spoke at in Detroit, Michigan, put on by NOW, the National Organization for Women, of Olive and her mother, who started the Period Project. Well, another amazing person that was there was a woman named Jerry, who has been a member of NOW for decades, and she was awarded their Feminist Icon Award. And she gave this amazing acceptance speech. And in that speech, she talked about women's rights and how our access to abortion is being stripped away from us. After the event was over, I had the distinct honor of going to lunch with Jerry. And I asked her when we were at lunch if she was willing to, if she would tell me more about that time, because Jerry and her friends were of pregnancy age before Roe was even a thing. And she did. She remembered in very vivid, graphic detail how difficult it was growing up in Michigan, or being that age in Michigan, and what would happen to these women when they would find themselves pregnant and not want to be, and what they would have to put themselves through. And she was emotional all those decades later. And it was incredible to me. I mean, she remembered their names, where they were. I mean, the details that she remembered. And I would never tell a woman's age. I couldn't believe the detail that she remembered. And it's because it was so traumatic to know what her friends were having to go through. Jerry did say that thankfully she herself didn't have to go through it, like personally, physically. But even witnessing it was very difficult. And she said, yes, that hangers were used often, but also there were different things that women would try to drink. Knitting needles were used, throwing themselves down flights of stairs. Can you imagine how difficult any of those things would be to try and do? I mean, like, as humans, we are physically wired to not hurt ourselves. Like, it's difficult to hurt yourself. She talked about the Janes and how larger cities, especially, it had started to become very popular to networks of being able to access doctors and nurses, but that you could not call them. They had to call you, and how difficult that process was. Even in big cities like New York City, well, not everybody lives in a big city. Imagine living in a tiny rural town. Think about the women today. Tiny rural town, right?